This video is going to talk a little bit about what is a function. We already know about the equation, say y equals 4x plus 1. We already know from earlier units that this equation has infinite solutions, that you can actually plot the solutions on the xy plane and graph and get the straight line that describes all the solutions. But this equation also happens to satisfy the definition of what's called a function. How do we determine that, and what is the definition? Well, think of it this way. If we were to try and generate some solutions to this equation, create a t-chart on this, one easy way to do it would be to just plug in some values for x and find the y's. For instance, if x is 1 and we plug it into the equation, we get 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. Or if x is 3 and we plug it in, we get 4 times 3 is 12 plus 1 is 13, and so forth and so on. If x is a negative 2, we end up with negative 8 plus 1, which is negative 7. If x is 0, we plug it in and y is 1. And we could basically do this all day, where we just plug in an x and work it through and out spits a y to give us, a solution. In fact, one way of thinking about this is called the machine model for functions. It says what we're basically doing to generate solutions is we're plugging in values for x, we're running them through this set of operations, and when we do, out spits a value for y. So again, we can plug in an x, run it through the operations for x plus 1, and out spits a y value. What makes this a function then is that for every x that we plug into the function, only one y is coming out. When we plug a 1 in for x, we only get a 5 out for y. When we plug in a 3 in for x, we only get a 13 for y. For every one x we plug in, only one y is coming out of it. And for every equation in two variables, where for every value of 1, say for every value of x, there is just one y that comes out of it, then that particular equation is considered to be a function. In fact, one way we describe that is we say, thus, according to what's happening here, we can say, the way it's written, is that, say y is a function of x. Okay, basically what we're saying there is that, to get y, you have to do something to x. The definition of the word function is to have a function means to perform some type of job. So what we're basically saying is to get y, you have to perform some type of job on x. And this is the actual job you perform. To get y, you've got to multiply x by 4 and add the 1. And so any equation that satisfies this particular definition is considered to be a function. So yes, this is a linear equation. Yes, we can graph it, find intercepts, and all the other stuff, but it also happens to be a function. Functions can come in all shapes and sizes. You could have something like y equals 7x squared minus 8x plus 4, and that's also a function. For every x you plug in, you're going to get one y out of it. Or say y equals, say, the square root of x plus 6. For every x you plug in, you're going to get one value of y out of it. And so these are all still functions, and they come in all shapes and sizes. And Unit 5 does look at different types of functions later on. The quadratic, the logarithmic, exponential functions. But that's a basic definition of a function.